Sunday to the family. What we thought we'd do, because it's sort of the Christmas season, and we all know that you're going to be making some nice little Christmas goodies, we're going to demonstrate what we're going to be serving on our Christmas table. Something nice and sweet and something nice and easy that you can all make at home. It's basically like a traditional Perry breast, but we're going to call it a tandatula wreath, and I'm going to show you how to make it. Great. So like I said, it's very, very simple, very, very easy, very, very few ingredients as well. So let's go through our ingredients very quickly. Over here we've got 1 cup of regular cake flour. We've also got 1 cup of warm water. Then we've got 125 grams, that's half a cup of butter. And then last but not least, we've got 3 eggs. Now we're also going to need a little pot to put all this in. We are going to need a piping bag to pipe our final product. And of course, if you guys have one of these things called a sill mat or a silicon mat, grab one of these because they are fantastic to use when you're cooking any form of eclair or profiterole or what we're going to be doing today. The very first thing we're going to do is into our pot we're going to pour our 1 cup of water, and we're going to put in our butter. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take this across the stove and we're going to bring this to a rapid boil. Keep stirring. You want to melt all of the butter before the water boils, and you want it to be a rapid rolling boil. Once the water and the butter come to a rapid boil, you can turn the heat off and then take your flour and throw it into the pot all together. Then what you're going to do is you're going to stir and incorporate all of the flour until the mixture forms a bit of like a ball. And what it's going to do is the ball's going to end up cleaning the sides of the pot. And that's when you know that it is ready for the next step. So as you can see, as you're busy stirring, you'll see it will form a nice ball, and you can see how it's cleaned the whole side of the pot. Now we're ready to go to our next step, which is to add our eggs. So our next step is to take our eggs and incorporate them into our flour water mixture. Now to do that, I've got my good old trusty electric beater. You can do it by hand, but I just find the beater is a lot quicker, and it makes them for a better dough and a better choux paste at the end of the day. Now, put your eggs in one at a time, and then between each take, put the beater in and give it a good beat. Once you've incorporated the first egg, then you continue with your second egg. The same thing, low speed. You don't need to make the speed too high. Just keep it on a low consistent speed and just keep mixing around and around. And then last but not least, the third egg. And then what we're looking for is this choux paste is going to turn very silky. And basically what it's going to do is when it's ready, the mixture itself is going to work its way up the beaters, and that's when I know that this is going to be ready for piping. So it usually happens, sometimes 3 eggs is just the right amount, but sometimes 3 is actually not enough. So as you can see, the mixture as it stands at the moment is almost ready, but not quite ready. So if you have already used the 3 eggs and it's not sort of that sort of smooth silky paste, then add 1 more egg. And now you'll see it come together and form a nice paste that basically moves its way up the beaters. That is when you know that this mixture is ready to be piped. So Next step is now our little choux paste mixture is ready. We're going to pop it into our piping bag and we're going to pipe our little circle wreath. So first thing to remember is whenever you're dealing with piping bags, roll the top of the piping bag over the back of your hand so that you can hold the space at the top open, and then take a choux paste mixture and pop inside. So what we've done here, we've got our silicone mat on our tray. If you are using a silicone mat, there's no need to pre-grease the mat because this is pretty much like a non-stick mat. If you do not have a sill mat and you're using greaseproof paper or wax paper, then you will have to pre-grease your paper. Now what I've done here is I've popped just a little bowl in the middle over here that I'm going to use as my stencil whilst I pipe little dots around the outside. I'm going to start by piping them a little way apart. And once I've done that, you can remove the bowl. Now it's just a case of filling in all the holes. So once you've piped in the eclair mixture, the next step is to take about a 3/4 cup of water and splash it all the way on top of this eclair and around the roasting tray itself. Now what the water is going to do is when we bake this in the oven, we're going to preheat the oven to 220 degrees Celsius. And then, because it's so hot in the oven, it's going to turn all that water into kind of steam, into water vapor. And that's actually going to be what causes this to actually rise and to puff. Now once that's ready, we're going to pop this into the oven, 220 degrees centigrade or Celsius, for about 15 minutes. We're going to leave this in the oven for 15 minutes at 220 degrees. After that, we're going to turn our temperature back down to about 160 degrees Celsius, and we're going to bake it for a further 25 minutes. So it's a two-stage cooking process. The first stage of that high heat is to turn the water into vapor, which is going to cause the eclairs to actually rise. The second part of the cooking process, where we're sitting at 160 degrees, is to then dry out the eclairs and to dry out the little holes that are inside. So whilst this is in the oven, please do not open the oven, because if you open the oven, you're going to lose the heat, you're going to lose the steam, and your eclairs will not rise. So we've let this bake for the further 20-25 minutes. Then we took it out, we cooled it, and now what we're going to do is just cut it open and decorate it. Now to decorate, what we've done is we've made some whipped cream. So it's just a little bit of fresh cream that we whipped with a bit of vanilla essence, some sugar, and a little bit of amarula cream, just to make it nice and locally South African. So once we've piped our cream on, we're then going to take just a couple of toasted flaked almonds, sprinkle them on the top. Now you can use any nuts you wish, so you could use hazelnuts, you could use macadamia nuts, anything, even pistachios, whatever you prefer. Now we've put our top on, so now it's just to finish it up, we're going to garnish it with a bit of white chocolate. I've also got some more flaked almonds, I've got some maraschino cherries, and of course a bit of fresh mint. And then what we're also going to do is we've made some little chocolate Christmas trees and some chocolate stars, and we're going to garnish the top of that as well. And there we have our Tanatula Harry Breast wreath, perfect little Christmas dessert. Looks good on any sort of buffet table, any sort of family gathering. So give it a try and let us know in the comments what you think, and if it works just as well for you. So from all of us at Tanatula, we hope you have a very sort of merry festive season, a good end of the year, and we hope to see all of you in 2021. From all of us, take care.